Welcome to Asylum Atelier. Welcome to Creative Discourse. Welcome to my studio for the last time of the year 2024. I am extremely excited about today and upcoming year, actually. So I was kind of, forced, like it was an inner force to do one more stream because I enjoy these streams enormously, and I felt that there is no better way to end the year than with a quick, not even a quick stream, with our regular session 12 to 4, depending on the light, because it's really dark. I wanted to do it yesterday, but it was really, really dark. It was difficult to deal with, but today it's like, we're somewhere there, so I'm excited to be here. And what would be the better way to end of the year with this large project that is in front of me. I promised you not to touch it while not streaming, so I did that. But I also have to say that I was not procrastinating completely during the Christmas. I was actually thinking about how to improve it, how to adjust it. I worked a little bit with the Photoshop, a little sketching, a lot of research, a lot of pictures, a lot of other paintings, and a lot of ideas that I made a list of things that I want to incorporate. And I realized there might be a bunch of things that I can just really get rid of, only because it's getting cluttered, it's getting too mushy, too many information, and I want to really focus. The same way with the composition, I want to focus on the clear message, which is the journey that actually sums up even what we do here. It is a journey for all of us to discovery, and we're pushing that, creative discourse further and further. That's that famous frontier that that we're at right now. So I think I'm gonna make just a little bit of adjustments. Depends on the light conditions that I have here. I might focus mostly around here because there are some areas that need to be addressed. Where's my pointy stick? Here it is. That need to be addressed there, especially because that's something that kind of trails behind and lacks a clarity for me at this moment. And I promised myself, and I promise you as well, that I'm going to be done with composing this, and it's gonna go into a stone cold execution. So I've worked on this a lot. Let's see of how much I can actually translate into a real thing. So I can test the theory of working digitally and then translating that digital information or digital ideas to a classical painting. And when I say digitally, I just for that kind of a, how would I even put this? Just from the point of view of convenience, it's the name of the game. I've worked digitally lately. First of all, it's easier for me to share this information with you, record them, and so on and so forth. And second is that it's just a great tool, and I'm grateful for being able to use digital drawing software and 3D software to work out some ideas that way. So yeah, and then I want again continue working abstractly, since this is still the stage of like abstract shapes moving around left and right. I want to continue with that. I actually want to go even further, working abstract with describing a form and shape, and maybe even portraits abstractly, to give it even more of that fashion-esque feeling, as we talked about a lot before I said fashion-esque, that's not even the word. What it is right now, we invented it together. It's because of the Nikolai fashion that we talk about, with that kind of like the way of applying the pigment and creating these abstract movements and shapes, and it feels so fresh, and whenever you look at it, the painting looks different. I really want to. I enjoy. I was looking through the library and my collection of digital files that I have, and you know, I went really deep into that fashion rabbit hole, and I found some you know, expression and some ideas. Some technical stuff that he did that I really enjoy. Unfortunately, the problem with the way that I paint and fashion particularly is that he used a specific technique and the treatment of canvas, or you might want to call it like a different kind of a ground to seal his canvases. They were extremely absorbent, and it worked very similarly. If you remember, where is it? It might be, it doesn't really matter. I remember that Rembrandt copy that we did together on that very absorbent wooden board, that you almost felt like you put the brush stroke down, you place the brush stroke down, and it's more like a watercolors, that you started here and you move here, and by the time you finished on this side, this is almost dry. And dry in terms of that, the canvas was extremely, it kind of sucks the oil out of that. And that's the kind of he could layer quickly, and the pigment was a little bit stiffer. I experimented on Bad Painting Friday with a kind of heavier, thicker, pastel-like white, which is kind of a you can there's a quick tip or trick, or you know, the painters in 20th century used it a lot. They used to squeeze it on a cardboard to kind of really suck that oil, that medium out of the pigments. And you can kind of mimic that, but then you ran into problems of layering, fat overlean, and you know, all the other technical stuff. So you have to be very careful. But you know, when it comes down to painting, the most important thing is to get across the idea, to get that actual painting, that the visual experience you want to have, and then let restorators deal with the problems with painting, because they need to work as well, right? So I'm not going to do it willingly to destroy my paintings, but I am ready to sacrifice a little bit of technical precisions in terms of, you know, these exact recipes, in order to get a little bit more visual excitement in my paintings. So that's what the restorators are for. Yes, exactly. That's what the restorators are for. Yeah. So let's give them a chance to earn their keep. So that's I'm gonna do everything that is possible in my you know, in my skill tool set to make technically correct painting. But then, you know, now and then I might not necessarily cut some corners, but I might break the rule only because I want to get the specific feeling and so on and so forth. And I have some nice textures going on here that I really want to either work in or preserve or work into. So I'm kind of excited what's gonna happen with this painting. So, you know, let's avoid me talking too much again. And I'm going to start on this side, and I'm going to be adjusting these areas, the shapes, abstract shapes, and make them a little bit more I don't want to say presentable, but a little bit more coherent. I am kind of satisfied with what I see at this moment. There are a couple things. Art is already difficult enough to work with. Yes, you're right again. It's difficult for me enough to handle all these things without even thinking about how to preserve a painting for millennia. So let's hope that I'm doing it right. And if not, well, I'm not going to be here that long to know it. Hopefully that they're going to stay alive as long as I'm going to be here. But anyway, I'm looking here. I like the adjustments that's happening right here. I like the colors. I like the way how it moves. Only way that I'm thinking about, maybe I could make him a little darker. He's kind of, and I know that I said that he's supposed to be in the background, kind of, as a supporting character, but looking here and having this darkness right here, like a really strong dark a vibe right here. I might actually push the darkness, and that was in one of my ideas and sketches. I'm gonna push it maybe even here. This guy can go darker, and that will give me a space to make him a little darker, just to balance the light against dark. Because right now, even though it might be enough, I want a little bit more of that resolution, but I'm not sure. It's just one of the ideas, and I'm going to start with this. I'm going to make this a little lighter, just a little bit, to kind of make it a little bit more coherent, because it looks like I went from black and I ran out of a black, and this is like a washed out a black kind of a situation, right? So and it looks a little. Let me just maybe make the, just for a second, a little smaller here, so it doesn't interfere with the painting. So you have a better. It was like a tangent. I was looking at the screen and it looked like a tangent there. So so what I feel is just I'm going for dark, completely dark through these shades. All the way there, and it's something. It doesn't seem that it's connected from here to here when it comes to like that color theory, right? Because this looks very much like impressionistic painting, like that, like that kind of a late 19th century, beginning of 20th century, perhaps. And this is old school, dark Caravaggio, which is not bad in terms of, just adding layers and layers and layers of ideas. When it comes to, it's that journey. So it's a journey also from one style to another, and so on and so forth. But like I said, I made a list of things that I felt that it might be not necessarily wrong or bad or anything like that. It's just too many information that I want to put into one painting, and maybe I should leave some of them for another project. And also, it's really bad weather outside, and I see some issues with a internet connection. It's kind of unstable, so hopefully it's not going to affect stream too much. But if it does, I apologize. It's just a combination of dark environment, a storm coming towards the city. And when it's a really heavy snow or a lot of moisture in the air, it's just my internet doesn't work very well, unfortunately. And there is like I said, I love this building. It's a historic building. It has the high ceilings, but it's really cold here. and you know the internet, it's not um, very good here either because of a historic center, and they're not allowing to, you know, just dig through the center with cables, and you know, so we have an optic internet. It's just not going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately, and fortunately as well, maybe, because this is a historic center. You want to keep that, you know, historic vibe going. So that's what's up. It seems to work just fine so far. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Thank you. And if something happens, like I said, I apologize. It happens to me a couple times lately, so let's see. Hopefully, it's going to be okay. But there are things that I simply cannot affect. Camera seems working right now. Let's see if the battery is going to keep up as well. And the other camera is working as well. So I'm kind of surprised. What's going on? This is the last day. I was expecting nothing being in order. Maybe I got lucky. So let me just set up my digital files. So, and I want to really work, like I said, abstractly. So I don't think that there's going to be any specific, you know, like a detailed work and so on and so forth. First of all, I'm definitely going to light up this area, and I'm going to try to make these shapes a little bit more, a little clearer. And I'm going to keep the texture to see what's going to happen. I just want to keep it as it is because I kind of like that certain areas that we have there. So let me put my gloves on, and maybe then I scrape them. I don't know. You know, you know my idea is. I might have a. Let me rephrase it. I might have a good intentions, and I might have something that I want to test, and then it doesn't work. So you know, I'll repaint, if anything. I'm gonna end 2024 with a good bang. Yeah, I should. I think I should. But unfortunately, it's not. Some things are not. I cannot affect. And weather, it's one of them. Even though you promised me a good delivery weather. But actually, this is a good weather. It's not good weather for streaming, I guess. That's how I should think about this. Yeah, you should. Customer service is definitely a way to go when it comes to this. Let me squeeze some paint out, and I have to open my file with sketches that I did, or adjustments of my composition. So, and it's again, it's just it's an adjustment of abstract shapes. Okay. This is that. A little bit more of yellow ochre, and I think that this is also a moment for me to make a little revision of pigments that I'm missing, and I have to do the trip to Vienna to get some more specified art supplies. And where did I put my, oh, there it is. I just made a little, you know, I not made a little, I was cleaning up the studio and right now I don't know where things are. So you have to be patient with me. So I'm gonna go traditional yellow ochre, cyanus, vermilion, darker reds. I have that cobalt violet here still on the palette, so maybe we can try that. And then what was that? What was the green? It was sap green with what? Or was it a? I think it was a sap green. Let me see if I. And it's still. This is like, I don't even know when was the last time I used it, but it's still wet. That's crazy. That sap green just simply does not want to dry. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Where's my trash can? Okay. Cobalt violet, you like it? Nice. Nice, nice, nice. I don't know. I might use it specifically because it's on the palette and I'm not gonna waste any pigment. I need a little bit umber. See, like amber is just it. Amber is gone. I'm not gonna use this one. It's too dry. Just burn them. So let's do a little warmer burnt umber. On this side, it's a different brand. It's a little bit more earthy. And let's also go with the raw umber and white. And then I think I have my palette ready and we can start painting. Maybe a little bit more blue because I need to create that analog of my transparent green. So let's see what's gonna happen. And I need a little bit of where did I see? I just cleaned it and I don't know where's my, there it is. There you are. Yep. Let's go. All right, let me just check that file if I didn't. So let me do a file. I'm just going to Okay. Let's see if it's still here. Should be. There we go. I'm just trying to move some files. Okay, nice. Right here. So it could go this way, a little bit more here and here. Nice. All right, I'm ready, finally. It only took me half an hour. So I'm gonna work on this, on that right side a little bit, because it feels, like I said, it feels, and again, you know me, I use You're still not ready? No, okay, well. Well, I'm gonna start and you have to catch up. Well, maybe I won't start immediately because I still don't have all the necessary books ready. You know me, I can't live without books. And I have some references from the books that I would like to use as a kind of a guide when it comes to, that like a grass and that kind of environment, because I'm not really that good with landscapes, and especially when it comes to these, like long empty fields and stuff. So I need to create some abstract ideas here. So let's see what's going to happen. I want to lighten up this. So I have a darkness right here. So this area, you remember I was trying to push that diagonal. So I'm going to light up this diagonal right here. That's what I was thinking about when I was working at home with the sketches behind the scenes. So let's see if it's going to work or not. I want to test it first, just to get that kind of a visual. So this would be darker and this hole can go lighter. Okay. Oh, I forgot that sap green. We still have a little bit there, so let's see. Yeah, cool. Pretty sure this is going to be light enough. So it would be all the way here. Maybe a little lower. And you remember that diagonal that I want to keep there. So again, I'm just going to have fun with pigments. And I'm making it maybe too light, but it doesn't really matter right now because what I'm creating is a little bit of randomness there. Let's go with that. Beautiful yellow ochre. And my brush is really, I have a lot of pigment there. So it's because I want to create a texture right now, a lighter texture, something that I can then work with. And you can see how immediately I'm pushing it to that direction. And since these are the lighter areas, I was thinking about them also the areas with a little bit more of not only a texture, but also a little bit more of a refinement. That means that I'm thinking about this more like a more like a specific it's not the foliage. What's the name? It's just it's a grass. Like, you know, I'm thinking about like the little patches of grass. So I'm making the direction of my brush strokes are kind of that, you know, creates these the striations of a pigment, which, you know, it's like a random thing that I can use then later on as a to my advantage. Hopefully, let's see. So I have this, I can push this area right here. Maybe this doesn't need to be that light, but I want to make it lighter. Right here. Use my mirror because I'm not sure about this. It seems like it might be a little too light. No, we're good. Well, just to quickly. So you should know, well, obviously I haven't been streaming for a while, so I can't even speak properly. And what I'm trying to do is, like, you see I have a sky that it's light, and it has, like, when you look at compositionally from here to here, right, and it's slowly going smaller and smaller into that kind of a triangular shape, right? So this is the top part, and I'm going in that, I'm using that triangular shape as my diagonal, and I want to replicate the same thing right here, but from the opposite side, like abstractly. So it kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but the dark mass, it's right here, right? So it also kind of creates a kind of a zigzag, right? So you can also imagine this as that zigzag pattern in the composition, in terms of unifying it. I don't know if it's going to work. It might be a little too much, but let's see what's going to happen. Because, you know, I have the curve that is going right here. There is a curve that is going this direction, so it might be a little too much, but I felt that it needs a little bit more unification. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but let's see. But right now, it's really pushed. I'm pretty sure that you can see the diagonal right here. There is no doubt about that whatsoever, in my mind. probably take this a little closer because I can't see that far. Okay, let's push it a little. Or maybe I could change and make it a little bit more desaturated, but the same value. So I have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of saturation. So it's still going to be light, but it's not going to be as dominant as this area right here. Just move this a little bit more this direction. Yep. And let's sneak this into that. Maybe a little more purplish. So let's use that cobalt. Remember I talked about that I want to create a little bit more abstract areas right there. Let's throw a little bit of that vermilion here. A little bit of cool. So what I'm doing right now is that I have these random brush strokes that I create there, and they were completely random. And the reason why they were random is because I was just, using that pieces of underpainting as my it's like these areas of interest. So what I'm doing right now, I'm bringing them a little bit more lighter, and I'm kind of trying to create a pattern that's kind of pleasing to look at. It does not necessarily going to work, But again, I'm hoping for something that gives me that abstract start. And even though I'm working abstractly, it's not necessarily, you know, set in stone that it has to stay this way. I'm just having fun with the pigments right now and with the different colors and application. So I'm gonna also switch brush just to have a little bit of fun. With the application of a pigment. Finally eating my lunch, and then I'll finish up that winter piece. Already did second session on the few days ago, and it's looking way better. Just need to polish it up before calling it. I've been so slow and out of sync ever since the Christmas started. Raffles started. Starting tomorrow, I'll try to be 100% on time, more focused. Don't even worry about this. That's okay. I understand that it bothers you, but you know that those moments of just enjoying a time with your family. Oops, this is, wow, this got. Enjoying the time with your family and relax a little bit. It's all good. Don't even worry about it. It's gonna get back. You're gonna, you know, get back into a saddle sooner than you think. I'm relaxed too much. You think that you're relaxed? I don't, you know, it's just, it's again, remember we talked about this for a long time, that it's just, we're putting so much pressure on ourselves when it comes to painting, that I have to do this, I have to do that. Your mind needs to rest, your mind needs to do other things. You have to, you know, rekindle that kind of a moment of having fun while painting, because this is not, for me at least, it's not mechanical work, and especially when it comes to, you know, finding these creative solutions and having fun with the composition. I can't really do it every day, you know, at 8 a.m. It took me a while to get back because I really enjoy my time with family. I really enjoy my time being lazy, not necessarily lazy, just going through pictures and listening lectures and other painters, either podcasts or whatever videos that they published, and I was catching up on the stuff that I wanted to do throughout the whole year, so I shouldn't be concerned that much about this. And if you are concerned and you are, you know, I don't want to say that you are freaking out, but it's okay. You don't put yourself under the pressure that you haven't been painting for 2 or 3 days. It's all good. It's all good. All good. And it's going to be all right. Don't worry about it. People are going to stop being nice to each other again, and everything's gonna go back. You're gonna again dive into the fact that, oh, I don't want to be exposed by outside world. I don't think I like it that much, and you're gonna start painting a little bit more and more. So I'm just gonna bring a little bit more horror into this. Right? I'm pretty sure that that's what's gonna happen. People were nice to each other, and you were like, "Oh, this is so nice. I wish this would be." A little bit more common when it comes to, especially in my country, when it comes to Central Europe. So. I know it's not going to last, unfortunately, so I'm not worrying to get back to my studio not seeing people. And it's probably going to happen immediately January 2nd, when everybody's going to be like, oh, we have to go to work again? No. So I have this kind of a weird light areas right there. So let's try to see what will happen if I hit it with like a darker green. Let's see. Yeah, that will be cool to make it like this. And I want to make this kind of a smoother transition, so I'm gonna go into that with that darker value. And I should desaturate that. Let's grab the large brush. Let's go with this big guy. Yep. Nice. Let's bring it a little bit more. So this is, when you look at a palette right now, so this is somewhere where I would like to be, that you have a darker values and then you have the light into it, like a patch of light there. So it kind of gives me that randomness there. Since it's in the background, okay, a little bit more this way. A little bit of that abstract. I'm trying to soften that because some of them were just, I was taking too, not taking, it was just too much attention to that. Yep, nice. Softening it a little bit, and I'm creating that kind of a randomness of a grass. While still trying to maintain that. Okay, I can push it all the way there. Yep, and then I need a little bit more dark value right here. Maybe I could use this as a kind of a shadow, maybe. So let me just hit it with a little bit of blue. Just a bit of blue. So there's going to be a kind of a cast shadow somewhere here. Again, this is pure abstract. These are pure abstract ideas that might not end up in the final. Softening it here because we don't know where his feet ends and where the grass starts. So I'm trying to connect it a little bit there, but I still want to keep that dark value there. And this could go a little bit more Okay, so I have this. There's a nice base right here. Let me adjust this a little bit. Maybe I should push the lighter values all the way here. Let me grab that. A little bit more of that lighter value there. And let's get, and you can see I have my brush, it's kind of a lot of pigment there because I'm creating textures, and some of them will end up staying there, and some I'll just then can scrape, the ones that I don't like. So I'll have the choice, and I can play around with textures, as I mentioned before. But then maybe I could push this even darker. I'm thinking that it could go darker. This area right here, let me get a little bit of that darker value. Let's get into that violet. And maybe I could push this. Not necessarily as dark as the top part, but a little cooler, so I'll bring that coolness off. For some reason I'm getting lost in my studio. I just move things around, and right now I'm bumping into stuff that was not expected to bump. A little bit of that red there. Okay, let me get a little bit more of that that green, just a touch. Where did I put it? There it is. I'm really missing that transparent green right now. Oh. Anyway, let's go with this one. Oh, yeah. Let's just have fun here with this green. Push that a little bit this way. Okay. this a little bit more. So then I can work with that. Okay. But I have to, this needs to go darker. Since it's so dark, I can't really see very well. Fun with that vermilion. Yeah, this is the one. So I'm really using a lot of pigment, and I'm kind of mixing it together, trying to create these random shapes that then hopefully I can use as a that kind of abstract shape that I can start building things off of. I'm amazed that you managed to last that long without buying more pigments. I'm nuts. Well, thank you. I'm going to take that as a compliment. I'm just using every other possible way that I have to get there. And you remember, it's part of that exploration. I mean, just relying on the same pigments and the same mixture that you feel comfortable with, it's not going to give you that, exploration that we're so desperate to have in our paintings, that kind of I need to soften this. And you can see I threw the pigment around the first pass, that I have a second one, and I'm going to do a third one. And you can see how it's changing the shape, and this is all abstract shape. And within that abstract shape, I am again going to push these little details and start, chiseling into it. And if I don't have the right pigment, I can still mix the right pigment. There is nothing stopping me to mix the right pigment, right? So. Let's maybe push the diagonal even more here with this. Maybe even lower. This is where it should be, perhaps a little better. All right, and let's make it a little clearer. So I'm going back and forth, and you can see like my brush is loaded with that pigment, like as much as it possibly can, because that's going to give me kind of a nice texture. And broken color as well. I'm gonna even use that. What was it? Indian yellow? No, that's not Naples yellow. The one that I struggled with so much. Let's see. Because I can paint, portrait with this style, but for some reason I was always like unable to do this with maybe push it this way. Yeah, yep. We got it. We're good. I was able to do this with the portrait because I'm more familiar with portrait when it comes to, like exploring these things. And maybe this could be trees actually in the background. What if there's like a little forest that they're getting out of? Could be that famous Mikhail Tal's forest. It's definitely a compliment. Okay, I'm painting alongside now, by the way, so all's good. Perfect. I can tell that this is kind of annoying right here, right? Yeah. Sorry about that. I am sorry about that. And let's put the light supported right here. So I'm just trying to create these diagonals with but I don't want it to be so obvious, so I'm just playing around with this. So it's going to go darker, lighter, and I'm really just searching for something. For something abstract that represents the field or grass or whatever you choose to think of. There might be something that's go right here through him, connecting here. And I'm using all sides of brush. That means that when I say all sides, so there is a way to apply the pigment like this way, and then I'll go like this, and then you can tab, and these all creating a different textures, right? So it's going to be like an interesting interplay of things. And on top of the brush application, since I have a lot of pigment there, I'm mixing pigments into each other kind of randomly. Let's connect this. Yeah. Okay, and let me, so these are all very warm pigments, so let me get into get another brush. Oh, you remember I was talking about these different brushes that I couldn't find? I made this is the Egbert. We talked about that with the long, really long furls. When I was talking about the different sizes and different types of brushes that I use, and I couldn't find this one. It was actually, what was it? There was a topic about my teacher asking me if she can borrow brushes. It's one of those that when she get them back to me, they were like this. You know, because she had them in a I don't know if you remember that story. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So I have these two fan brushes. Where's the other one? Ooh, this one is a very damaged fan brush. You can see this guy, and you can see how different it is and what kind of different texture is going to create then semi-destroyed one looks. And then when you have a fresh new, brand new, not a good example. Well, this one is fairly new, but no, it's not a good example. Anyway, so you can see like how this is really stiffer, so I can go into pigment with this guy and just create different shapes or different textures rather. So that's why I never throw away brushes unless they look well. Even though, I want to show you, I that I throw brushes away when they look this way and I still have them. So it's not really a good example. I just like to connect things. So rest in peace, the brush. Yeah, I remember. You remember that story? Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna grab a slightly cooler pigment. Just to offset that warmness there that I created, right? So, and right now I'm just going to apply it on top of the existing pigment. So hopefully, yeah, when you step back, you can't tell the difference, but as you get closer, it's just going to vibrate. And ideally, I'm going to turn it more towards that kind of a purplish pigment, because it's not going to be red to offset this completely, but it's going to be slightly redder, so the color is going to sing nicely, hopefully, in theory. And what I'm trying to do here right now is that in my country we have a lot of these like forests that are mixed between evergreens and every time I come here, I see better and better adoration of this painting. Looks great. Happy New Year's. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that you see some progress, because for a while I thought that we're not moving anywhere. So, and I hope that you're also painting alongside with us, and if not painting, at least creating, because that's the most important part for me, just to get creative people together and work on their projects, even though we can't necessarily sit next to each other, which might be even better because we might get we might not get along very well. Who knows? Yeah, I'm glad that it has a progress. It's still a lot of work there, but let's hope for the best. As I was saying about these evergreens and what's the name for another one? It's an evergreen. It's just one that does not. Am I right or am I wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong. It's the one that always stays green even during the winter. How do we call them? Evergreens, right? Anyway, it's just about. I was thinking to create a little bit of like that small forest here. But I don't know. I'm not sure. It's that exploration of ideas. So you can kind of feel that something is there. It's not only the doom and the darkness, but it's not going to be. It's going to be up to you to choose what is there. Is it a cloud? Is it a forest? And maybe I'll make it. Visible. I don't know. It's just right now the shape is not exactly as I want it, and I have to work on it. Evergreens? Okay, all right. You see, like I have a problem with this right now, and I'm looking even in the camera. So I have a kind of a spike right here and the spike right here, which compositionally doesn't work very well, but I want to keep the darkness. But I don't want to have the darkness so, it's okay that it's menacing, but I don't want to have it random, right? So these little adjustments are going to kind of create a feeling, hopefully, the feeling of atmospheric perspective, and that something is behind as you go into a distance. So maybe I should adjust this a little bit more and make this darker. Let me do that. Make that a little darker. And you remember the first pass, and this is kind of something that might help you with adjustments. The first pass was black and red, if I'm remembering it correctly. So let's maybe adjust this and create a little bit more, little more interesting shape. And you might think that, like I'm spending too much time with this background, but it's the same way when you look at great painters. They always treat their backgrounds like it would be a portrait, and it's so important to think of these backgrounds as a portrait. Don't just leave them because they're there. And right now I can go there with a little lighter value. Where's my lighter brush? So I want to create kind of a nice maybe I could push it all the way here. What do you think? Maybe, let me try that. Maybe I could push it a little bit more here. Yep. A little bit of the randomness there. And maybe I could try a lighter area up there. Let's see. I have an urge to bring a little bit more lighter areas right here. Just to continue with that diagonal. You know, I have like the diagonal light, dark, light, 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 dark, and light again. But I don't know if this is correct necessarily, if this is not going to lead us completely out of the painting. I'm not sure. But I think it might work. I'm using wrong brush, so maybe if I hit it with a little bit of palette knife, might be fun. Okay, let me see. I didn't plant this, but let's see. I think that might work. But then I will have both. Okay, so, and right now a dark area right here. It might actually. Gonna go here. because I don't want to have it the same way on the both sides, right? This is the light area right here, and it almost seems that I'm copying the same thing on the other side. So again, there's that composition issues that I have to address early on, and not early on. I talked about this a lot for a while. That my brain wants to, make everything symmetrical because it's easier for it to work that way. So what if we connect this, and it's going to go all the way down the darkness there, and it's just going to be a sliver of light in between that darkness there. That might actually work. And since it's just an idea and we're working abstractly, again, I'm not painting anything specific right now. And you might, I might be tempted to go into creating concrete things, and trust me when I tell you that I am physically suffering and forcing myself to not do it. Because I know that it might not be the right time at this point, because if I'm not happy with that abstract shape, no details is going to help me to adjust it. I'm just going to look into a mirror reflection from the other side. So bear with me, I can't really see it. I think it might work. I think it might. I think it might. Let me see if I have some other examples that might be beneficial to this. Fortunately, I don't. I just have to go off of random feeling. Which again, going back to everything that we talked about this year, it's just that inner remember I talked about this. It's just that kind of an inner voice that, if you feel that it's wrong, 9 times out of the 10, I would say for me personally, 10 times out of 10, it is wrong and it needs to be adjusted. And being abstract and being loose and just having fun and moving things around in this abstract stage, kind of, helping me to really move things around without thinking that much. or being afraid that I'm destroying something. I actually, just, by throwing these pigments around and having fun, you remember, it's that idea of you remember that portrait that we did from scrap materials during the Bed Painting Friday? It's funny because you're not gonna believe me. It's it's right here. It's right here. That's that portrait that I'm talking about. Let me just grab it real quick. If you remember, there was I hope I'm not going to. Well, I have my dirty hands. It doesn't really matter. It's just going to be. So there were these, I hope you can see it right now. There were these random patches of color and pigments, and we look for something that might help us to find composition. I'm doing the same thing right now. I'm just throwing the pigment around and I'm looking for some interesting way to deal with the empty shape that I created there. Not created, the empty shape that it's the important part of the composition, but I don't want it to be necessarily like specific and concrete, and I don't want it to look like I labored when I painted it, even though I struggle a lot and I paint a lot into it and I'm trying to find the proper way. The end effect, hopefully for a viewer, is going to be that, oh, it's just, I can do it. That kind of a feeling, you know what I mean? It's just, oh, I can do it. So that's something that I'm looking for. Let's think of this. I really don't have any like concrete idea how to sorry, I was trying to say that I don't have any concrete idea how to abstractly paint a forest or anything like that. So it's, for me, it's just, I'm just, maybe I should have some references. But then in this stage, it might get a little too static. You know what I mean? It's like it might get a little too specific, and it wouldn't allow me to move freely as I want to through the painting, right? So it's just, I don't know. It might not be right. I don't know. I might be wrong. I'm usually wrong, as you know. I'm not gonna hide that. But you can always repaint this, if anything. So let's push the diagonal that I was talking about. And what I'm doing right now, I'm looking for the diagonal. Let's try this guy. What's gonna happen here? So I want that diagonal going this direction. So I made some adjustments this way. So it's pushing that. And then let's make this less obvious and seamless, because there was a long line right here, which was kind of too much. So I want to break it a little bit, just a touch. And even though from a distance this might look like a black, it's so many different colors there, and that's, from a distance it kind of blends together. And then let's just find the cool shapes out of the darkness. Yep. It's getting really dark here. Where's that violet? Let's just throw that cobalt violet there. Softening all these edges here because I don't need to have necessarily hard edges there. Creating a little bit of that. A little bit of that darkness there. And right now I'm inserting a little bit of that cooler value in between these warmed areas, again to create a kind of a feeling of a broken color and the randomness there. And also this needs to go darker because I want to continue with that idea of that diagonal, right? So even though I started with these being lighter, they need to go darker. And as it goes towards us, it's just going to move lighter and brighter, more saturated. The funny part about this is that I remember when I used to be at the academy and we painted figures, right? We always had these backgrounds, and I would spend, I don't even know how long on the background. And I remember how my masters were like not necessarily angry with me, but they were just, what are you doing second week of a of 3-week pose, painting the background, man. Like, what is the meaning behind this? And I don't know how to describe it. For some reason, it's extremely important for me. I don't know why. Like you said, I always think about this as another portrait. And it has to work nicely. It has to be incorporated. It can't be just a random thing. I don't know. I remember it drive them crazy. Yeah, and right now I need a little bit of this, and I need to squeeze more black into this. I'll have to get probably a little bit more warmer tea. All right, so I'm gonna get more. I received official permission to get to get tea. I'll be right back. Just a second, guys. I'll be right back. I promise. Okay, I'm back, and I have to, I have to say it was pretty funny. I have to read your comment. I hereby give you the permission to do so. So good, so good, so funny. Oh, so I have my super hot tea. It took me a little while, or longer than usual, because I think I have to start defrosting my my water before putting it into a kettle, because it takes for so long um, to boil. Okay, seems that this is going to work. We have a lot of kind of weird things going on here, which is awesome. And I'm going to take a little, like I'm going to leave it for a while, just so I can focus a little bit more on that. On that. Yeah, it's that cold. Yeah, yeah. It is really cold, and especially because we talked about these, like, I have to move this, I'm sorry, a little bit more here, because the light, it's really, really bad, and I want to continue for a couple more minutes, right? And you can see it better now, right? Where how many different colors and patches are there. I'll just move it a little bit more this way even. So, but I'm afraid that we're going to receive a lot of glare right there. So I'm working on tiny details. I got myself a few new soft detailing brushes, and I'm already happy with them. I always had stiff brushes, but soft is better for detailing. I noticed. So happy with my purchase. Soft brushes. Well, when you look at, I just, as we talked about this, it is still here. I have all kinds of brushes everywhere. You can see there's a bunch here, laying here. There is another, box right here for the different brushes. Some of them are really soft. Some of them are synthetic. Some of them are natural. Depends on the country where I painted. There's different laws. Some of the brushes are considered illegal in the European Union, so not all of them can be purchased anymore. So and you could see me using different brushes even right now. For instance, the red one that it's right here, it's soft one. These are just the regular household brushes that you can buy in your local warehouse, probably. No, warehouse. What's the name of that? Like a local, I think it's a warehouse, local warehouse. These ones are bristles in the fan kind of variations, and this is very, very old bristle that I didn't clean, and it was just really went through some rough days, right? So I kind of created this one myself. So I'm gonna say that I meant to do that. So let's put it that way, right? So. Yeah, I never really experienced with them till Bad Painting Friday, and go, I could use them. Okay, yeah. It performs perfectly for my needs, and that's why I don't really. That's why I always, but not always. When I used to paint in in a school, I always collected brushes that other students considered unworthy. So and it's because more and I didn't know why I'm doing it as much as I enjoy it these days, because there is not that much. I mean, if you have a specific technique, and I talked about this a lot, and I don't want to repeat myself, and it's nothing wrong with it, but when you see these a specific, you know, classes with painters coming in, and they're asking you to bring a specific set of brushes that they use, that they like to use, it always feels, not always, it felt very stiff and repetitive for me, and that's why I use different brushes right now, and I don't have these. You know, I used to do it because it's a great practice to begin with. Then you have you mix the color of a pigment, the color of a skin tone, or the hue of a skin tone, and then you change the values slightly, and so on and so forth. I think I showed you that that this was my practice on that different palette. Let me just bring it one more time, right? So this is how I worked. Can you see it? Yeah, I think you can see it. So you have black, you have red, or this is probably burnt sienna rather, ivory and burnt sienna, and you create these streaks of values, and then you mix them together, right? So you have a warm light, you have a cool light, you have a cool neutral, you have a warm neutral, and then when you mix them together, you can create a desaturated neutrals. I mean, low chroma, right? So that is really good when you studying and trying to understand what pigments are doing and why they are doing it. And I would never abandon this idea as a student, and I always refer to this, and I should refer to these ideas a little bit more, especially when I'm struggling, as I did with last couple bed painting Fridays, because I'm still amazed that disaster. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. What I was going towards was that, or is that, right now at this particular stage, I'm enjoying that freedom of just painting, right? And let me move this away so I can, if you remember, well, I don't think I need to bring it, but it's a similar idea right here. I have, and I still have to work on this. But when you look at the helmet, a helmet is done with the soft brushes and a little bit more like a smooth application of a pigment, only because it is a smooth surface, shiny metal-like. So I approach it that way. It might not necessarily be exact, but that's what I did. And then I have the area of a shield, which is done with a really thick brush applications, because it represents the shield that was damaged by the fight, and so on and so forth, or defending throughout the fight. So these are slightly different paint application for different purposes, and to apply pigments differently, you have to use different tools. And you could see me, or you may have seen me to work with, like I said, household blushes. I have a palette knives that I use, and I have, and you can still see it here, sometimes I use these, what are these, like a, I know that I saw actually people from kitchen using them for just clearing bowls with I don't know, like a dough. So I use that, and then all kinds of other kitchen tools. So it depends on the way that you want to apply the pigment, and some applications are going to work, and some they won't, unfortunately. Yeah, debit card is a great example. You're absolutely right. Debit card is a great example, but it's the problem is that when you have a large size like this, I can't really load a lot of pigment on the debit card without just, how would I put this? Like, there's not enough space for me to hold it and also load a lot of pigments. Whereas with these bigger ones, longer ones, I can, because I still have a lot of surface area and I can press it. And this is a little bit more, this is little, it's like a slightly different material. So, but you're right, credit card is a great example. And then I also, you saw me use sandpaper and X-Acto knife and cutting knives and also razor blades. So, everything goes. I'm looking and I'm thinking what to do. Maybe work on the portrait a little bit, just to have fun. Or maybe I also should work on that. Like, I don't like this area right here. It's kind of like, this is kind of weird. I like it there, but it doesn't work with this. So. I don't know, we'll see. Let me maybe attack this with full force. Or this portrait, well, maybe let's do this portrait. And the funny thing is that I'm looking at these two paintings next to each other, and we're kind of good when it comes to that composition, but it kind of works together as well. For some weird reason, it kind of works together. It could work together. So I'm pretty happy with that fact that I can interchange these canvases and they still work. First of all, as its own composition, and then also as a combination of two or combination of three. So so that's kind of a good sign of one of these things that I definitely wanted to keep when it comes to that composition and the manipulation with these different canvases. I'm impressed, to be honest. It's a great comment. It's just like, it makes me feel like I didn't believe what you were saying. But I appreciate it. I'm gonna take that as a compliment as well. Or I'm just going to make more fun of you this time. You are easily to be impressed. I don't think I know any artwork or see any work that works like that. Well, wasn't this our goal when we started with this? That well, I'm pretty sure you could. You remember I talked about Vincent Desiderio, right? He has a couple of his triptychs, triptychs, triptychs. Never mind. You know what I mean. Um, where they work separately. I don't know if they work interchangeably though, but they might. But it never been like a well, a happy accident. Yeah, I would. Well, we forced it together, you know. So it's a plenty of happy accidents, but we really pushed this. You remember how many times I talked about and repainting it and going back and forth with this. So yeah, it is. It is happy accident, but it's that happy accident that you have to be there and prepare for it, prepare for it, and search for it. So. Yeah, I think I have maybe a half an hour more before it will get completely um, um, like dark. So let's see. Yeah, maybe I could do a little bit of a. Let's work on this guy a little bit, perhaps, because that's a important part of that. But do you remember? I again forgot the name for that. I again forgot the name of that. Of those sculptures that I was talking about. I'm pretty sure that it's somewhere in a. Yeah, one of those monks. Okay, I was you know, these statues that I was talking about. Okay, let's work on that a little bit. Just so I can, you know, I can balance it that a lot of randomness with something concrete here, but not concrete. Let me rephrase that. There is a lot of randomness that we played with, and I'm kind of, I have a better idea what I want to be here, so I want to place it a little bit more accurately right now. So let's go darker here. And I know it's too red, of course, yeah, but don't worry about that, because it's just the beginning. Wait, these are the statues. thinking maybe I could. No, I want him a little bit more forward because I'm thinking to move him a little bit from a different angle, but no, I want this. I remember that we talked about this, facing him a little bit more forward. So let's get a little bit more. Oh, I wanted to squeeze more ivory black. Let me just squeeze this because I want a nice clean pigment, and I should probably clean my palette. But I have a bunch of cool pigments there, so kind of lay down the harmonies. Anyway, never mind. I'll just clean it. Definitely clean this part. The left side. And this is something that took me the longest time, probably, to understand, to cleaning my palette. You don't see me clean my palette very often because I have a large palette, but if you have a small palette, please clean your palette so you have a nice fresh pigment. I'm gonna keep this because these are good mixtures also for face tone, so I don't want to really get rid of that pigment, but or flesh tone, not face tone, flesh tone, that's what I meant. And I wanted what? Ivory black, right? More ivory. There we go. Just step back for a second and his whole face, it's in the, could be in the shadow. Let's do this. I haven't even going even farther. Let's scrape this. Scrape this. And let's put his face into a shadow completely. So I want dark, saturated pigment. Nice. And I'm gonna make his face through that. Oh, I have to put my camera. On a charger. So what I'm trying to say is that, so I'm just gonna see how dark it is, and I'm gonna lighten up things around the face. So it's going to be dark background, light cloth, and the dark face. So we create that a depth. So that might be a kind of a cool thing to do. Maybe we will see. So let me just adjust this. Lighter, we can go lighter. Let's get a larger brush. Where is my... And also, you know, since I want to keep the since I want to keep my mixtures fresh, I also have to clean my brushes. Not clean them, but I have to, you know, I'm trying to get a little bit of that residue out from that, because I want a clean pigment. And a little bit of that yellow ochre there, because I want a dark, not dark, I want a little bit more saturation. So let's put it in. So it could go here. Oop. A little bit of light. And I want to frame his face right now. Just a bit. Maybe a little warmer, since the background is cooler. I could make this a little warmer. And then we also give us that, remember that I was talking about that I have a light, and there's going to have a dark face and the light faces, so they're not going to be spread equally. Maybe I could push a little lighter here. Let's see. Let's see. How big is that head going to be? Could be even bigger, because I'm looking at the body. So let me make the adjustments clear right here. And then I can again then push it into a background if I so choose. And maybe this could go this direction a little bit more. So let me get the adjust it, but I would like to have it coolish, purplish, since I have warmer areas right here, so I can adjust this way. That's too dark. It's too light. Yep, all right. All right, so making him a little lighter. But that would be probably the only light part that I want to do there. Everything else I want to keep dark, because the moment I start lightening this too much, it's going to overpower and break that composition maybe a little too much. I don't know, I have to be careful with this. I think it works right now. I think, I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's have fun. Maybe let's make it darker and warmer. So it's gonna again change that. Yep. And right now I can go with this. Yeah, it's starting to be really dark. I don't think I'll be able to continue, but let me just lay this at least so I have some kind of idea of where the head is going to be. Yep, I think we're good. I think we're good. I know that it looks strange on the screen, but trust me, it's because it's reflecting a lot of light, so kind of look weird. But like I said, I want it to be readable, that there is a figure there, but I don't want it to be overpowering. I don't want it to be overpowering. Let's go with this and a little bit of light. Ooh, my camera. Okay, I think I found out the problem. So hear me out on this, and I might be wrong, but I think that my camera, the moment that it is connected to a power source, shutting itself down back and forth because I think it's too warm, because the battery is too warm. That's what I think. I might be wrong. Might be some settings that I'm not understanding properly. So making these lighter areas right here, but they're not, when you squint your eyes, you can barely, but when I'm squinting my eyes, I can barely see the difference. And that's what I'm looking for. And it's gonna go even darker because this right now, it's a very transparent pigment on top of a dark background. So it's just going to get darker the moment when, remember we were making fun of these cooking, not fun. We were referring to a cooking videos that I'm just gonna let these pigments introduce to each other slowly. That is possible. Does the phone feel hot? I don't know. Well, I'm surprised because everything it's cold here, so. But I'm pretty sure that it's hot, and it's because, oh, maybe if what could I do? I could get it out of a case. Yeah. See, that's just something that I should think about. That could be a instead of rounded, I might have a sharp edge right there. Cool. This seems that it's going to work. Let's see. And then a little bit warmth right here. All right, and that's about it. And then the hand, and then we move that walking stick that he's going to be holding in his hand, and I think this is going to work. I'm kind of excited to see see the end. Truth to be told. Where did I assign the second hand? Is it going to be right here? Perhaps it could be here. Perhaps it could be here. Yeah, it could be there because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create that, I'm trying to push that diagonal, but it's going to be, again, in the darkness. So, and this is going to be his cape, and he's going to have cape this way. Okay, we're good there. We are good right here, and then it could be like a it could go that way. Yep. Yeah, it does feel so. see. Okay, so I have this guy kind of where I wanted to have. This might be a little too warm. Let me correct that. Like so. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's better. That's better. And then I can bring actual dark pigment. Because I'm going to work right now with a shadow and occlusion when it comes to his portrait, right? So everything that would be shadow, right now I'm going to look at it as an occlusion. Right, so I'm going to drop the values a little bit more. And maybe I could bring a little bit more of that. Light area. So this is the top. Right here. All right, and then let me get this. This could be a shadow there. I don't know if the head, maybe I could make it even bigger. I'm not sure. Well, I can always make a, maybe just a little bit of light right here. Just a bit. And maybe a little, like a, little angle there, just a touch. So I'll show that. And it might go all the way here. And maybe I don't even need to show his hand. Maybe it's just going to be a, yeah, well, that might be cool. What if I just, yep, push it a little bit more this way. Yeah, and it's going all the way down here. I'm trying to give them a different kind of a shapes of the robes that they're wearing, so it's not the same one. So it actually could go all the way from here, but then I'm afraid that the distance from here to here, and maybe I could do this, and then something here, maybe could have something here, something else underneath. But I think that right now he's doing what he's supposed to when it comes to. And then let me push this here, right? Let's just make the soft transition right here. And maybe I could push this lighter here. Where do I have that green? Like somewhere here maybe, like a little kind of a thing right here. Yeah. And I need a maybe darker area right here. A little bit more, like so. And this way. I'm just looking for a shape right now. You really like how it looks? Awesome, awesome. I'm kind of, I got into the rhythm again, and I'm, I hope that if anything, you can just take, that I kind of moved around, I had a lot of fun, just not even thinking about whether that's that bad painting Friday kicking in, that I just need to throw pigments around. And the moment when this looks weird, just a random brush strokes, that they are a little bit more deliberate, starting to bring things together, right? So like it's kind of getting out from nothing. It's just really fine-tuning existing things, right? So, and it's just you are here, all throughout the process. You were here throughout the process, so you know how much time and how much these ideas we threw around and move and shaped and held, there's so many things that are into this. And like you mentioned before, it's a happy accidents. Yes, these are happy accidents, but we forced, how would I put this, like abstractly, the happy accidents were all over the place, and we kind of take them together and force them to happen here. So these are happy accidents that were curated. I'm glad that you're having fun, because I do. I really do have fun to do these. I just got so into painting that my tea got really cold. Not really cold, but warm. I hated my first session, but somehow I got it worked together. Now, yes, that's the beauty of working together with people in the studio, that we think that we don't need, I want to be alone, I don't want to be bothered by anything. You are not only that you are, I understand that you don't want to be bothered, but most importantly, you don't have any other feedback, you don't have any other interaction, so you can look left and right to see some other people doing maybe something really good, maybe some mistakes, maybe this, maybe that. That's why I have, plenty of books around myself, because unfortunately I don't have anybody in the studio. I do have you finally here. And I think that was the missing link. That, okay, there are people that they have similar problems, similar struggles. We're just gonna, we're just gonna push through together, and it's all gonna be fine. And I'm starting to like this more and more because of that, randomness. I threw like a random brush strokes right here, and I loosened up a little bit, and I relaxed, and I kind of tricked my brain into thinking that, oh, it's not end of the world, it's not, I don't need to be precise with every brush stroke. And I allow myself to make these mistakes, do these explorations, and so on and so forth. So it relaxed me a little bit. Well, actually, it relaxed me a lot. So don't, how would I put this? I understand that you wanted to paint and you want to have these paintings nice and presentable. It's okay, they're presentable already. I saw that a beautiful painting of the snow that you did. Right now you can only improve on top of it. And remember, we talked about this a lot in length, and I'm going to talk about it whole next year, that it's about what do you want to paint in terms of what do you want to communicate with your viewer, right? So it's just and again, I'm getting better and better with kind of understanding the clothes and the relationship between pigments when it comes to these as I progress slowly through the painting. Like, you can check it out when I move this again on the side. And there are some that are, oops, let me move this, hopefully it's okay. There are areas that I'm a little bit more confident when it comes to that, painting, and there are areas where I was really timid and I was trying to paint things perfectly. And right now I'm going to go into these areas and I'm going to push them even more. And suddenly things are making a little bit more sense. I still have to, though, there's a big important part. I still have to think about how to not make these like they're exactly into opposite to each other, right? So they don't mush this together. So I'm looking at this right now together, and I have that slight feeling that they're like two menacing figures from the both sides. Not necessarily menacing, but it's from one side is menacing, and from another side it's it's a little lighter. Actually, I kind of like it. It's just the distances are bothering me for some reason. I don't know what is. I think it might be, and this is, hear me out about this. It's not about distance between here to here and here to here. It's the position in the separate canvases. This figure, the main figure, it's pushed towards this, towards that right side. And this main figure, it's pushed towards the left side. I think this guy needs to, right now, has to work even better. And I think that would bring it a little bit more into that balance. I think that might be the problem. I'm not sure. There's so many things that, we still can change. But it's fun to look at that evolution of this. I should probably pull up some pictures, like when I started with this. Let me see if I have some picture, since it's really dark and I can't really see very well anymore, and my camera is lagging again. So that's our cue. That's something that is the end of that is not the end of the painting, but I can't really continue painting today, particularly. Let me see if I have some really, really old ones. Oof, I do. No, I can't even show this. This is so bad. This is so bad. Oh, wow. This is not real. I know. Yeah, we are finally, oh, wow. These are pretty bad. Well, but I have to tell you, this is a tough to swallow, truth to be told. Oh, this is a black and white version. I'm looking, I'm trying to see if I have some. There's a, maybe in Photoshop, I have these underlayers. Yeah, I do. Let me just turn off all these layers that I was doing adjustments to them, and I'm just going to show you the raw stuff, the beginnings. This is going to be a perfect end of the stream. So let me just uh, let me just add a new. What would it be? This. Okay, and it would be this. Yep. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, just give me a second. Maybe I could do it this way instead of this. Maybe I could. Let me do this. I'm sorry, let me do this. Let me file, save, copy as JPEG, desktop. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. All right. And right now, it would be what? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to figure it out how to quickly show you this, but image. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, image. And what would be the image? Browse. Desktop. Okay, there we go. Now we're cooking. So let's do a comparison to next to each other. So this is where we started, I believe. Well, I started a little sooner, but I don't have a better picture as it is right now. So yeah, this is how bad it was. Oh, wow. Well, now you know. Now you know what's up. So this is how far we ventured from the beginning. It almost seems like a completely different painting, truth to be told. But not bad, just different. Oh, there's so many mistakes there. But I always had the idea of having it the way as it is right now is just showing you that I made a mistake going into painting them a little bit more, in terms of like a cutout. I don't know why I did that. I think I thought that I could simply, I really thought that I could simply get away with it, and I don't think it was a it was a right call, unfortunately. Maybe fortunately, I don't know. So it's different now, though, luckily. Or I don't know. I don't know how to say it. It's just, it was a little bit more naive, but I still kept, I kept adjusting it. For example, I kind of like the hands, the arms a little bit more on the previous one. So I have to go back and maybe do something with it. It feels that they have a slightly different posture. So maybe the hand is gonna go dark again, maybe. I think I should go a dark with that hand. And you can see how I haven't moved a hand that is holding a book whatsoever throughout the whole painting. That's crazy. Like this didn't move. And hear me out. I think the reason, not I think, I know that the reason is because at the beginning, I was satisfied with that hand. And if you look closely, you can tell that that's the most that's the most developed part, the sleeve on that hand and the movement, even though it seems like it's in the wrong place right now. You must really like that book. Do you know what is funny? That I repainted that book multiple times. It's just compositionally, it always worked in that place. And if you don't believe me, you can watch the previous videos that I moved that book multiple times. Yeah, one time I moved it and I got so angry at myself. I got so angry. And this has been painted in the old studio. I started this painting in the old studio. But unfortunately, well, I have the videos. I made the videos, I didn't post them though. I haven't had a chance to post them, rather. You better leave it alone. No. It's going to be painted. It's going to be way better. It needs a little bit more depth. It looks very flat right now, right? So when I painted, and it's not flat that it's not three-dimensional. It's again, it's a front view of a hand, it's a front view of a book, and it's a front view of that figure. And it's just, you know what I mean? It needs a little bit more of a variation in the Z-axis. So it needs a little bit better rotation, because right now you're holding, even though I have another JPEG, another picture where I'm posing myself and I actually photoshopped my own hand into this to work with it. But it looks wrong right now. When I'm looking at it, it looks wrong, and I finally have to address that. But I have all other parts here, right? So most of everything, and I'm so happy because as it is right now, I achieved what I wanted to. So I have most of the figures already figured out and in the place, except this guy. But I'm thinking coming here tomorrow and putting it there, or maybe working. No, I can't work right now. I have to go. But that's something that needs to be finished, and that's the reason why I believe that these two figures right now on the opposite sides look similar. Like I said, because this is completely unfinished. And it's flattening the picture, right? So it's receding into a background way too much that I want to, and bringing this way too much forward. So that's what I think that problem is right now when I'm looking at that, analyzing it. So the moment I connect that, it's going to work way better. So it was an awesome year. Wasn't it? I'm not really a big fan of New Year's Eve, only because I never felt that. Well, since actually, let me rephrase that. I always think about the another episode of my life, or another, another, how would I call this? Another, I don't even know how to describe this. Well, what I'm trying to say is that for me personally, I understand the global approach. I understand that, and I'm totally cool with it and on board. So I'm going to be celebrating this New Year's Eve with family, and I hope that you are going to do it yourself as well. And it's going to be a happy moment, and I'm really excited to be with them. But when I'm thinking a little bit more personally, a New Year's Eve doesn't really do anything for me. I'm kind of thinking about that it's going to be end of the year for me, or end of the era, or whatever you want to call it, when I finish this. So I don't feel that much pressure, and you shouldn't too. It's specifically because I know that before I used to give myself, okay, I'm just going to, I was not productive the whole year, but next year I'm going to be productive. And I felt that I can go from 0 to 100 overnight, and it's never happened. And I was so disappointed that it's not happening. So instead of having these, unreasonable expectations from the next year, right now I'm kind of chilling and thinking about, okay, it's formally end of the year, but it's just a calendar, so it's not that big deal. So I'm not pressuring myself that I would have to have everything finished. I had a lot of fun streaming. I've never thought that I would be able to say that it was so much fun to stream, and so incredibly beneficial. I have to write, hopefully, a short essay about this first year of streaming as an experience, and all the difficulties and fun stuff with cameras, which is not working right now, just to prove the point about not being a good streamer, which I apologize for when it comes to production value. But we had a lot of other things, and I want to wish you all a happy new year, and I want you to enjoy next year even more than you enjoyed this one. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Next year is going to be awesome. We're just going to work even more, and hopefully we're going to have more light. But yeah, I hope that you'll join me to this journey of discovery also the next year. I hope I'll be able to continue stream. I have some plans. I will have to travel to different countries for a longer period of time. I'm not sure if I will be able to stream overseas, but I will try to do my best to do so and set it up some kind of a similar setup, but not probably with the large paintings, but maybe with the smaller ones. And we're gonna have a lot of bed painting Fridays and a lot of maybe portraiture most likely, and so on and so forth. If everything goes according to plans, I'm not sure. I am. It's all, you know, in the developing stage. I also applied for a couple of art shows or I'm thinking, rather, let me rephrase that. I'm also thinking of applying for a couple of art shows, and also these art, how would you call them? It's not art festival, it's not Comic Cons, it's not Wonder Cons. It's more like a art. What would be the right word? You know, like they used to do like these art shows, but not for 2 or 3 people, but for, I don't know, 50 or 100. Hopefully I'll be able to go there and maybe show some of the paintings that I've worked on, which would be kind of cool. But that's more like, you know, that's more like a hobby part. And then also next year I'm planning on dive a little bit more into Blender, because I enjoyed it a lot. So I want to work a little bit more with the Blender, and I'm also planning to get that 3D printer, which would be cool, because I would like to do some 3D prints as well. So there's plenty of exciting things that I would like to do next year. And I also have that, you know, you can't see it right now, but I also have that non-profit organization, so that deals with the historic buildings and restoring of historic buildings. That's something that I would like to do. So there is plenty of stuff, and I hope it's going to be exciting for you to consider to joining me on this endeavor. But remember, and I forgot to mention this for a while. Please do not watch this video. It has, or videos, they have no like entertainment benefits for you at all. But if you join me and paint alongside with me, you're gonna have a lot of fun. I promise you that. It's a lot of creative things that we can do together. So again, and for last time, so I don't do these extended side ideas, I wish you a Happy New Year, and I hope to see you soon in year 2025. All right, it was awesome. It was a pleasure. I appreciate your support. I appreciate incredibly your participation in that creative discourse, which I yearn for, and I really, really wanted to experience that on that kind of a global level, because I was, like I said, locked to this small space. So let's see what's going to happen next year. Take care. I'll see you. Bye.